When offered any riches in the world, this mythological figure instead asks for 3 steps of land. A form of this deity appears riding a white horse and carrying a flaming sword. In the form of the beautiful woman Mohini, this deity convinces demons to return an elixir of immortality. In another form, this god serves as a charioteer that gives advice to the archer Arjuna. In addition to Krishna, avatars of this god include the fish Matsya and the hero Rama. For 10 points, name this wife of Lakshmi, the 4-armed blue-skinned preserver god of Hindu belief. And the answer is Vishnu. This god is sometimes merged with his wife into one deity depicted as half female and half male. This god won his wife by killing a companion that was disguised as a whale. This god is often depicted as an eternal dancer whose drum beats create and maintain the universe. Symbols of this god include the trident and lingam. This god rides the white bull named Nandi. This god beheaded a child that was guarding Parvati's chamber, but later replaced that son's head with an elephant's head. This god's throat is blue from drinking hala hala poison during the churning of the ocean. For 10 points, name this Hindu god of destruction. And the answer is Shiva. One of this figure's epithets is translated as the One Swan. One myth states that this deity was born from a seed that turned into a golden egg. Another legend about this figure says that he was born from a lotus flower sprouting from another deity's navel. Later in his life, this deity formed a relationship with his daughter, sprouting another face to gaze upon her beauty, as well as creating the birth of mankind together. That daughter was the goddess Saraswati. For 10 points, name this Hindu god of creation who forms the Trimurti with Vishnu and Shiva. And the answer is Brahma. This figure is sometimes identified as one with a book which introduced the Rasa Laila dance. This figure is the main speaker in a 700-verse work often published in English as that text, as it is, which compares rotten, bitter, and sweet fruit to 3 gunas. Oppenheimer quoted this figure after the Trinity test when he said, "Now I am become death, destroyer of worlds." A mantra devoted to this figure prefaces his name with Hari. In a Vyasa poem, this charioteer convinces Arjuna that it is okay to kill his Kaurava enemies. For 10 points, name this speaker of the Bhagavad Gita, the 8th avatar of Vishnu. And the answer is Krishna. In Bengal, this god's consort is the representation of the banana tree, though he's also paired with the trios Siddhi, Riddhi, and Buddhi, as well as the goddess of the arts, Sarasvati. This god is traditionally prayed to first during any puja or act of worship. This god's wide expanse of knowledge is symbolized in his pot belly, and he's frequently shown holding a bowl of candy with a broken tusk. In one myth, a misunderstanding involving his mother Parvati leads Shiva to behead and replace this god's head. For 10 points, name this remover of obstacles in Hinduism notable for his striking elephant head. And the answer is Ganesha. This man wins one battle by exploding a bottle of the nectar Amrit. Earlier, he had defeated Varuna by threatening to destroy the ocean. This character is opposed by a Rakshasa king from Lanka, but kills Ravana by firing an arrow into his chest. With the help of the monkey king Hanuman, he rescues his wife Sita. This hero, the seventh avatar of Vishnu, is followed by Krishna as avatar. For 10 points, name this prince the subject of a namesake Hindu epic. And the answer is Rama. This god unsuccessfully tried to protect the Khandava forest from the hungry Agni, and he was born along with Agni from the mouth of the giant Purusha. With the help of his attendants, the Maruts, he rescued stolen cattle from the demon Vala, and this god rides the four-tusked elephant Airavata. He drank 3 bowls of soma in preparation for his greatest task, involving storming 99 fortresses and slaying a serpent who had stolen the world's water, Vritra. For 10 points, name this wielder of Vajra, the Hindu god of storms. And the answer is Indra. This mythological figure was upset by a god who threw a garland of flowers to the floor, after which it took 1,000 years before she would emerge from the churning Kshirsagar along with the moon, her brother. One of her secondary manifestations is commonly depicted with 2 elephants. There are 8 such manifestations. Her followers are wary of the owl, this 4-handed goddess's vehicle, which symbolizes attachment to material wealth. She is usually depicted sitting on and holding a lotus, symbolizing fertility. She has manifested herself as a human 10 times, including as Radha. For 10 points, name this Hindu goddess, the consort of Vishnu and goddess of wealth and prosperity. And the answer is Lakshmi. In one form, this deity wears a necklace of skulls and has an outstretched tongue, which this deity uses to catch drops of a demon king's blood. This deity defeats a demon with the body of a buffalo in the Skanda Purana. This goddess's husband incinerated the god of love upon waking from meditation and created a sun out of turmeric paste to guard her as she took a bath. That sun, Ganesha, ran around this goddess and her husband in order to win a race. For 10 points, name this goddess who had Kartikeya and Ganesha with her husband, Shiva. And the answer is Parvati. This person once visited shrines without seeing anybody praying and had to turn 5 crocodiles back into nymphs so that the shrines could be used again. In addition to the 4 brothers he knew of, this person had an illegitimate brother who claimed to be a Kshatriya so he could fight. This person killed that illegitimate brother Karna during the Kurukshetra war. At the beginning of that war, this archer turned down an army in order to have his charioteer be Krishna. Name this leader who was convinced by Krishna to fight even though his family members were on the other side in the dialogue that became known as the Bhagavad Gita. And the answer is Arjuna. Children often sing a hymn to this figure written by Tulsidas, his namesake Chalisa. He led an army of his people in the construction of a bridge called the Rama Setu. This god becomes giant and leaps across the ocean in the Sundarakanda, then shrinks to the size of a cat to show a signet ring. Jambavan reminds this son of Vayu of his full powers. With Vali and Sugriva, he leads the Vanaras. In order to heal Lakshmana, this god carries a mountain filled with herbs. He sets a fortress on fire after Ravana burns his tail in Lanka. For 10 points, name this figure often shown bowing before Rama and Sita, a Hindu monkey god? And the answer is Hanuman.